Hi students, let's revise our work. This lesson will help us improve our written work to show the difference in our writing after using the co-op strip revision strategy. In this lesson, we will do a warm-up, then we will review the difference between editing and revising. We will do a think, pair, share on our co-op strip strategy after we learn about it. We're going to work in groups, and then we'll do a Kahoot exit ticket. Our objective for this lesson is to apply the rules of grammar when revising and editing written work. The most important part about the writing process is editing and revising. In our warm-up, we practice using our editing marks to make corrections on the paragraph about reptiles. As we made corrections, we added the appropriate editing mark using our template. However, there might be times we might ask ourselves, what is the difference between editing and revising? Let's use our background knowledge and identify the differences between revising and editing. We have learned two mnemonics that help us remember the difference: think arms and cups. During revising, we arm up. During editing, we use our thinking cups. Using our background knowledge, we can refer to the revise versus edit anchor chart. When we revise, we arm up. We add, remove, move, and substitute sentences. When we edit, we use our thinking cups. We capitalize, look for word usage, check punctuation and spelling. We know that revising our work means to make it sound better, and editing our work means to make it look better. During revision, we add, change, or delete words and phrases. We organize our ideas in order. When we edit, we correct misspelled words and we add or edit our punctuation. Despite the difference, both editing and revising help the reader read along smoothly and also improve the quality of writing. Now that we have compared and contrast on editing and the revision process, let's talk co-op. The cooperative strip strategy is my favorite revising tool. Revising is so that we can check if our work has clarity and cohesion. In other words, does it make sense? For this activity, we will need scissors, glue or tape, an editing pen, and blank sentence strips. We will begin to read the sentences out loud to determine if they make sense. I will begin to cut and arrange my paragraph in order based on cohesion and clarity. The black parchment is a reflection of the margins on the paper, so I know the title of the paragraph is always placed at the center. As I read out loud, I noticed the sentences that needed to be combined. It says, there are two big attributes that make reptiles. They are cold-blooded. They are covered in scales. I will now cut these two independent sentences and combine them into one because they describe the two attributes of reptiles. As I cut these sentences, I am thinking about how I will combine these two together. What do I need to add or take away for it to make sense? I separate both independent clauses and combine them with the word and. I organize my sentences and use the extra blank sentence strips to write the word and I will include this new word in our new sentence. Using the linking word and will change my sentence and punctuation from the first original sentence. I will continue to read out loud. It says scales protect their body. I will continue to cut my sentences to arrange them in order and respect the margins. The sentence, scales protect their body, will be cut out and placed accordingly. I will continue to read out loud. It says scales can be hard or soft, large or small. I will continue to strip the paragraph and place it in accordance to the margins. Thankfully, I have the black parchment paper to help me remind me to stay within the lines. Alright friends, turn to a partner and let's do a think, pair, share. We know that the cooperative strip paragraph is a tool we use when we revise. We must read our work, evaluate our work, verbalize our changes, implement those changes, self-check on your work, and make a conclusion. During this Think, Pair, Share, I want you to talk to a classmate on how you can use the co-op strip strategy when writing. You can answer this question with the following sentence starters displayed on the screen. Now we will break into groups and use the co-op strip strategy and work with our partners to revise a paragraph. As you work with your partners, I want you to use your grammar, punctuation, spelling, and capitalization skills to make corrections and rewrite these paragraphs in a cohesive manner. Good job, friends. A lot of you were using your revising skills and the co-op strip strategy to rewrite that paragraph. Now let's review what we have done together. As I continued reading, I noticed something. It says being cold-blooded means that their bodies react to the temperature of their surroundings. The introduction sentence is about the two attributes that make a reptile, one of them being they are cold-blooded. The revision process is a time for me to organize our ideas. Since these sentences focus on the idea of reptiles being cold-blooded, I will rearrange these two sentences in order. When I'm done rearranging, I will continue to read the sentences out loud. It says, there are two big attributes that make a reptile. They are cold-blooded and they are covered in scales. I will arrange the sentences. It says, being cold-blooded means that their bodies react to the temperatures of their surroundings. Now that we have rearranged our sentences on how reptiles are cold-blooded, we will focus on their second attribute, their scales. The sentence, scales protect their body, will be cut to be arranged to fit along the paragraph. We will move along and continue reading aloud. It says, scales can be hard or soft, large or small. I will look at the remaining sentences to determine which one will go next. As I read out loud, I noticed something. It says, when they get too warm, they can go into the water or the shade to cool off. When they get too cold, they can hang out in the sun to warm themselves up. These two sentences talk about the temperature of reptiles and their bodies. I also noticed key words like warm, cold, and sun. As I continue to arrange the sentences, I think to myself, how can I make this make sense? As I read the next sentence, I think about where can it go in my paragraph. It says, when they get too warm, they can go into the water or shade to cool off. I know this sentence will be better placed next to the sentence that describes the animals and their body temperatures. I will rearrange my sentences in order and respect the rules of writing and stay in the margins. These two sentences were merged together because they talk about how reptiles are cold-blooded. As I continue to cut the sentences, I think to myself, how can I make them sound more clear? How can I make the ideas fall in order? I will rearrange the sentences so that they focus all on the first attribute. Then I will continue to rearrange the sentences as they focus on the second attribute, scales. It says, scales protect their bodies. Now that I know that we are talking about scales, I will rearrange the sentences. Now that I have merged the two sentences that talk about the reptile's scales, I will grab my concluding sentence and cut the strips so that I can place them in order. I will use the black parchment paper to continue to respect the rules of writing and follow the margins. As I analyze my final product, I notice something. I know that paragraphs are indented, and my paragraph is not. I will have to rearrange the strips to make sure that my paragraph is indented. After all, it is a reflection of how writing is really done. I will cut the strips in accordance and glue them down so that I can make my final product. I will arrange sentences line by line, using the glue to work on one sentence at a time. As I read out loud, I will continue to think about my final product. Does it make sense? Is it clear? Are my ideas in order? In this lesson, I have used the cooperative strip strategy to help improve writing. The cooperative strip strategy reminds me to read, evaluate, verbalize, implement, self-check, and develop an ending. As I continue to glue sentences down, I continue to ask myself, what is the difference between editing and revising? Now I know that editing is fixing capitalization, punctuation, and spelling, and revising is changing the word structure. I will continue to read the sentences out loud to determine if they make sense. In this activity, I have revised the paragraph using the co-op strip strategy. I can cut the sentences and arrange them with other sentences. I have taken out and added words to parts of a sentence. Now I know that these sentences make sense. Revision is an essential part of Writer's Workshop. Now that I have my final product, I can read clearly. It says, what makes a reptile? There are two big attributes that make a reptile. They are cold-blooded, and they are covered in scales. Being cold-blooded means that their bodies react to the temperature of their surroundings. When they get too warm, they can go into water or shade to cool off. When they get too cold, they can hang out in the sun to warm themselves up. Scales protect their bodies. Scales can be hard or soft, large and small. Some creatures that belong to the reptile group of animals are snakes, alligators, crocodiles. Alright, boys and girls, let's test our knowledge. Take out your devices and let's Kahoot it.